Hi everyone. Hi everyone. I think you have already been this question here, so I'll directly start solving. So here, first thing is we have to create a graph. So there are two ways to create a graph. One is by using a hash map or map, and another is using if in question they are indexes start from 0 to n, then we can directly use array indexes so that we can jump it from map to array list. So I'll directly start from there. First start with my exit condition. If source is equals to destination, then there is no meaning to solve this problem. Return true. The second thing is I have to make a list of integer. Okay. So here this is nothing but this is neighbors. So graph neighbors. So I'll just use graph. Okay, and I'm using a list. So graph neighbors, I'm just pointing it to underscore in n, or okay, this should is a graph. So here it should be new array list, and since it is storing multiple lists, so I'm using array of array list. So here we have to define a size, and it's n and given in question. Okay, I'm using for loop so that I can initialize this graph I equals to new array list. It should be integer. Okay, now moving further, I'll use another for loop so that I can visit ages from ages. However, it's a 2D array, so here I have to use 1D array. Here I have to write two line of code just because it's a bi-directional. Let's say 0 to 1 and 1 to 0. Okay, so whatever I write down in first row, I have to reverse it in second. So if you look at the ages closely, we have two indexes, 0th index and first index, 0th index and first index, 0 and 1. Okay, so I'll use that. Here I have to choose array list and I have to add it. Okay, this here I use age first index, and I'll make a relationship with its 1. Okay, and since it's bi-directional, so I'll just copy and reverse it. How can I reverse it? I'll make a relation from 1 to 0. That's it. For loop will take care of the whole entire array, 2D array. Now going back to that BFS technique. Okay, so in BFS what we do is we'll start with a queue. Queue is holding integer data. I'll make it a name as a for reference as a queue, and it's a new linked list, and it's an integer type. Okay, so queue dot add. Why I'm adding data into queue? Just because we have to start from something, and in question they have given we have to start from the source, and one we have to maintain one list that we have visited some kind of node. So here I'll taking a boolean array just because in question 0 to n is the node name, 0 1 to 3 is given, so I'll use 0 1 to 3 as the indexes. and I'll make array visited. Okay, equals to new boolean, and length is also given, so it's easy when indexes and length both are given. So instead of array list, directly we can use simple array. It will be faster because we know the indexes and we know the length as well. I'll use a while loop here. Q, there is no condition that says Q has some data, so I'll use reverse condition. Q dot is empty. It means whenever Q has some data, you have to process further. Here, what we have to do is we have to pull data from Q. Q dot poll. Okay, and we have to refer it for some further reasons. So what I'll do is, it's integer type of data, so I'll store in some variable called node. Okay, here we have to check the, if it is a, let's say if it is 0, then I have to check it's a neighbor. Okay, so how can I do that? We have stored all the neighbors in array list. Okay, so I'll call that array list, and directly I'll check integer neighbors. I call it as small n. You can write the neighbors full, but I'll store it in n. And let's say neighbor. Okay, and it should be from neighbors, but the thing is, I'll just copy it. Neighbors is nothing given in a question, so either I can create it or I can refer it to graph dot node. Node we have pull it from the queue. Okay, it's neighbor, so directly I'm just using this syntax here. Then what we have to do is we have to check if neighbor is equals to destination, then return true. Else, if it is not visited, what is not visited? It's neighbor. Neighbor is not visited. Wait, put a spelling mistake. Yeah, its neighbor is not visited. Then I have to visit it, like mark it as visited, because I'm gonna add into the queue. Equals to true. Okay. Here also visited dot source, I have to mark it as a true. Okay, I'm not comparing it, so I'm signing. Then I can add q dot add. What I have to add neighbor. Like I have to check neighbor of neighbor. And at the end, if nothing found, return false. Let me run this quickly. Submit it. Oh, that's great.